Okay, let's get it started. Today we're going to talk about that old Reefer Madness, where they made a video back in the 60s or 70s, where when you smoke weed or cannabis, you'd be like, when you smoke a joint, you go crazy, right? We're not talking about Snoop Dogg, Bob Marley, a lot of the creative people smoking. So the question of the day is marijuana madness real? And let's talk about it. Let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do, let's listen to some parents and see what they say first. Are their kids just potheads or life?
Did not attribute any of it to marijuana. So time came for him to go off to college. He went to a small liberal arts college, and this was, but over the course of his freshman year of college, we started seeing some more concerning behavior, some strange beliefs. For example, he started talking a lot about the Matrix, being in the Matrix.
Wait a minute. Ain't that what potheads do? They smoke weed, eat Cheetos, and they start talking about the Matrix. Man, if I was in the Matrix, man, I would do backflips forever.
He started talking a lot about energy and crystals, and he took a crystal and he would wear a crystal on his forehead with a bandana, and sometimes he would wear one around his throat, and he would carry different crystals in his pocket because he thought that was protecting him from different energies. So definitely, that was strange for us, and we were a little concerned, but we weren't super concerned. For my son, it was really detrimental. He was kind of in a state of fear all the time. He was kind of in a state of paranoia and fear. And then toward the end of his freshman year of college, I started getting these phone calls, and he was really frightened. He would be frightened to leave his dorm room. He would be frightened that people were stealing his energy.
Very paranoid. This guy is terrified to death. And it's still from marijuana madness, right? So when you meet a friend or you have a loved one and they're in this state, realize that they are in this state and what they seeing and believing is real to them. They in their world. So be sensitive to this subject. Don't just brush it off like it's nothing. He is dealing with some serious mental illness here.
He didn't want to go to class. And a couple times he did share, Mom, I smoked last night and that made me really paranoid, and I don't want to smoke anymore. And when I say smoke, he was using THC. So I knew at that point that he was using marijuana, but I didn't understand what that meant. I had no idea about what high-potency THC was. I thought it was just, like it was 20 years ago. I did not relate it whatsoever to these behaviors that we were seeing and these changes that we were seeing.
Basically, said high potency. Basically, I'm a Gen Xer. And the marijuana, cannabis, weed, whatever you want to call it, it changed. It's just like if you buy pineapple. I like pineapple. It's so sweet now because the manufacturers, they bred the pineapple to be more sweeter so I could buy more pineapples. So it's not the same as the same pineapples I ate when I was a kid. Marijuana, cannabis, weed, whatever you want to call it, it's the same way. They breed it away. The THC is higher dose so they can keep coming back and buying it. It's a business. So if you smoke something with high THC, get higher, which people want to do, higher to escape from life, then they're going to keep coming back. But the side effects of this high effects of marijuana is being seen, and we've seen it every day, but people look at Bob Marley, Snoop Dogg, Cheech and Chong's, and they doing fine. But the problem is there is a small chance that smoking marijuana can cause drug-induced psychosis, which can last a lifetime. once you put on psychotic medication, that's it. Because if you stop taking it abruptly, you're going to have a psychotic episode. And the episode going to cause you to be locked up in the mental hospital. You're going to be seeing me, Mr. Steve. I'm going to be trying to talk you down. So let's listen to another parent. I believe this sweet lady. And the problem is she was in this. She didn't know it. And her son didn't neither. So let's find another one. Okay, here we go.
I didn't know what the situation was. Just fear that really struck me throughout the rest of that day and that evening. Friends, he's hallucinating. He's not understanding what's real, what's fake. But friends on campus, they were able to get him to the local emergency room. He couldn't tell you his name. He was screaming out loud that God is real and saying various things. He was breathing deeply. His heart was palpitating faster than he can control. And I had to make my way up there to see my son in a psychiatric ward. It was a very traumatizing experience, but all of this came about just the normalcy of marijuana and people not understanding the dangers. Toxicology report has been done for my son as of this week 4 times. And all 4 times, his blood work, the toxicology report confirmed that it was only THC in his system. Even while I'm having friends and loved ones, it can't just be marijuana. It has to be something else. Maybe it was laced. Even when he was at the hospital, they said, we want to rule out to be sure that there isn't any synthetic in his system. He may have gotten a hold of, synthetic, any kind of drug. And there's just all kind of things going through my mind. Everything but marijuana. And again and again and again this past week, his blood report, when he is in psychosis, doctors have confirmed that it's only THC in his system.
That is a fact. I'm gonna say this right quick. Smoking anything is not good. I don't care, tobacco, weed, whatever. You smoking, especially vape, chemicals, smoking chemicals. Your body made of chemicals and you smoking chemicals. Now, there was 2 parents, but let's try to find some doctors, because think about it. The painful thing about this is the age of when schizophrenia normally happen. It happened around about 17 to about 23. And this also the ages when kids are experimenting with drugs and marijuana. From that like 16, 17 to 23, 24. They be at college, they be like med student, or they be an athlete. And next thing you know, they have full-blown psychosis, which normally happen with that ages, right? The problem is it just the psychosis that were normally going to happen, or the drug-induced psychosis that started it all? So that's the intertwined match made in hell. So that's why we're having this conversation. Let's see if Mr. Steve or old heads is talking bad about weed, or these 2 parents who don't have medical degrees don't know what they're talking about. Let's see if some doctors. I'm trying to at least find 2.
So here's the deal. Smoking or vaping anything is bad, nicotine or cannabis, or worse for you than edible or tincture. Let's just move that off to the side. High THC concentration cannabis, of which now there is almost pure THC cannabis available, is dangerous for the following reason. And there I just pissed off some people. But first of all, it does have therapeutic applications for glaucoma, pain management, maybe even some mental health effects, ability to help certain people focus at low dose.
That's true. We never said it's totally bad for every single person. Most of my family eats shrimp, but if I eat shrimp, I'm allergic to shellfish, I can die. In all my life, I didn't never like shrimp the way it looks, but I just ate one because my friend pressured me to eating it because he thought I was going to love it, and I went to the emergency room. So we're not talking about all the people. We just try to tell people there are some people that this can happen to. So yes, that it still has some benefits to some people in certain situations.
But for, in particular, young males in their teens, early teens and 20s who take high THC containing cannabis, there is a much greater, like 4x increase in probability of psychotic episodes later that don't ever reverse. In fact, when I spoke to the leading researcher on this up in Canada, she told me that the probability that a lot of what we see as kind of street homelessness now, what people appear to be schizophrenic, was likely triggered by high-dose cannabis use. Now, I'm not trying to return us to the 1960s and talk about devil's weed and this kind of thing. It is clear that cannabis has therapeutic benefits, but very high-potency THC cannabis can be a problem.
So here's the deal, man. That because a lot of people have no side effects and some people benefit from it, we got to let everybody know that there is a chance that they can get a drug-induced psychosis and never come back. What I mean by never come back was my cousin Brian. It's a personal, it's a true story. He was an extremely shy guy. I wasn't. We used to go to the skate ring. He'd be in a corner. He's scared to talk to girls. He just was really, really shy. We would tease him and whatnot. Then he started experimenting with weed, which everybody was back then, except me, because I'm different, because I'm a psych nurse. But when he started smoking weed, he started getting unshy. He was able to talk to people, talk to girls, stuff like that. But what happened was he also got kind of induced psychosis, what I'm going to say. Not a doctor, okay? Then he lost his mind, and he never came back. He'd be walking in the street like a homeless guy. He got hit by a damn truck because he's walking in the middle of the street. It wasn't a truck driver's fault. It was his fault. But it wasn't his fault because he was out of his mind. And he'd been out of his mind for a few years now. Now, my best friend, Eddie, recently passed away, so I could talk about him publicly now. He used to do drugs and be lost for a while, come back for a couple of years, do drugs for a couple of years, come back, off for a couple of years. And when I tell parents about the psychosis, we hope he come back. If he come back, then we could try to find mechanism of some kind of support system to fix him, to not fix him, but to make sure he stay here. And what this guy says, these people walking around homeless with the drug-induced company, they may not never come back. Let's see if we can find another one.
So there's two things that you need to be aware of. The first is that when you have a drug-induced psychosis from schizophrenia, the way to think about it is not like, oh, the drug is making them psychotic, because anyone who's ever seen this before knows that the psychosis lasts long after the drug is out of the body for many people. That drug-induced psychosis is actually neurological damage. So the reason why, most people are smoking and giggling and having a good time, and then you get that one person who becomes super paranoid and psychotic, the people smoking and giggling and having a good time, they're not getting harmed by it. But the guy that becomes really paranoid, that's neurological damage, and that lingers afterwards. And so when she says her brother isn't there anymore, well, some of that is likely true, because if he's hurt his brain, he's not quite the same person anymore. Now, the other thing that she's going to talk about shortly is the effect that antipsychotic medications can have on people, and people who develop drug-induced schizophrenia often get put on these meds. If you've had a drug-induced psychosis or that's led to schizophrenia, psychedelics is a bad idea. That's not going to work. And also, while dietary changes can help, even things like the ketogenic diet, they're mainly essentially putting your body in a healthier place to heal. The only thing that I've seen help people who have had drug-induced psychosis is long periods of sobriety and time. Now, oftentimes I've seen people take 1 to 2 years after having like a drug-induced bipolar or schizophrenia for them to fully recover, for the paranoia and the irritability and the mood problems to kind of die down, which kind of tracks with what happens if you've had like a traumatic brain injury, which I believe that's what's happening with this high-potency cannabis.
It's normal for people to tell people, oh, you got a little anxiety, get on Xanax or Klonopin, get on the benzos. Oh my God, you've been depressed for a couple of days? Get on some SSRIs. You can use Celexa, Wellbutrin, or something like that. You don't have to go through this thing by yourself. Dude, smoke a little weed. You'll be happier. Oh, you got pain. Oh, weed take care of your pain. You don't have to be on opiate. Oh, weed take care of anxiety. You don't have to be on a benzo. Oh, weed might take care of your depression. You might won't have to be on SSRIs. But the truth is, life is difficult and people are hurting. They are hurting. And the main thing is they never was told life was difficult. We've been sold that life should not be difficult. We should have anxiety. If I miss a bus and I'm going to be late for work, yeah, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to have anxiety. If my girlfriend break up with me, I'm going to be depressed for a while. If I get divorced, I'm going to be down for a year. But what are my options? Take medication, take pills, smoke weed, drink myself to a stupor. Sometimes we have to deal with the pain. Now, I'm a nurse, so I'm pro-medication. I'm not a doctor. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your nurse. Some people need to be on medications because it does save lives. Some people do need to be on opiates. They got back pain because it's so they can function. Some people do okay on cannabis because they're a creative person. But there's a black box warning for a reason. As parents, we have to try our best to protect our teenagers. We can't be the one that conforms where everybody else doing it, so you can do it. No, we got to make a sharp stance, just our stance. If you do it anyway against our will, at least they know that we disagree with it. The brain's still developing. The biggest problem with this thing is life is so damn hard. So as parents, we got to do what we can to make life just a little bit easier for our children. In that age range where schizophrenia normally happens, is in that frame range where people start experimenting with drugs and marijuana. You know, it's beginning the teenage years to the young adult years. You can do everything perfect within those years. Don't smoke nothing, don't do no drugs, don't do anything. Your kid or yourself can still become schizophrenia. You're born, it's innate, it's always there. Now imagine you adding stuff with it. You adding pills, alcohol, weed to those deals. You just enhance your opportunities to be schizophrenic or psychosis or bipolar. Now, so yes, Reefer Madness today is a real thing. And we should have a black box warning on it. I need to make a series of the black box warning. Mean like when you see a drug company on TV, once they're over, when they sell you the beautiful picture of it, then there's this list where the FDA made them put on it. List of all the down bad things can happen. So we as nurses, we got to start educating people. We got to tell the kids, oh, you smoke marijuana? Oh, how does it make you feel? Oh, it works? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another kid. Oh, Jamie, you smoke marijuana? Oh, how does it make you feel? Make you paranoid. Really? Paranoid? More depressed? Okay, hey, let me talk to you about marijuana. What can happen? I open up the door for the conversation. Because Jamie's smoking it, and it gets really bad effects. And Jimmy over here, he's smoking it, and he just getting the munchies. He's underweight. He eats Fritos. Now he's normal weight. We have to have the tough conversation. Yes, Reefer Madness is a real thing. That's about it, guys. This is sad. It's sad because the people that is being experimented on doesn't know it exists. If I would have knew, I can promise you, if I would have knew I was had a shellfish allergy, that it was a such thing, I never would have ate shellfish because I didn't never like shellfish. But I didn't know I can die eating it. It would give me the option to not eat it, not risk my life on it. That's about I guess, guys. Hey, put in the comments what do cannabis do for you? Because it does have some benefits for some people, like pain, anxiety, depression, mood regulation. So it's not all bad for everybody. But what I'm saying is we just need to know that some people in your family can smoke it and be gone forever. Psychotic. That's it.